Hello and welcome to today's video. In today's video we're going to be doing my July reading wrap up. I know this was supposed to go out last Sunday, but life's been very hectic with work and socialising for once in my life that a YouTube video was not in the cards, so I'm filming it today. And this is the pile of books that we've got to go through. I have some on my Kindle, but these are the majority of the books that we have read this month. Well, July, because this is currently like the 9th of August, but July wasn't the best reading month for me. And I can tell you now, August, unless we speed it up, isn't also not going to be the best. I think I've been in a bit of a slump with reading. I've not really been wanting to read. I've been mainly like going out and seeing my friends and socialising and just making memories, because I decided that this time I'm actually going to like try and see my friends and spend time with them as much as humanly possible and just live in the moment instead of being like constantly on the grind like I normally am. I think when winter hits we'll speed things back up again, but current moment in time, it's summer, I'm trying to have a fun time, so reading has kind of been on the down low. I've also not been wanting to read as much. Like in my downtime I've not really been wanting to read. Hopefully that changes and things do brighten up a bit. But yeah, this month hasn't been the best month in the world, but it's been a decent one. So I thought we'd go through it, and I thought I would get straight on into this video. So we're going to be doing a July reading wrap up and an August TBR. So let's get straight into it. So the first book that we read was actually an audiobook, and that was Crossroad by Devney because of the fact that I was going on Silverstone. It was like a 3-hour drive. I shoved this on 2x speed, got it done in one sitting. This was a really good, it was a 4.5 stars. It's a small town romance where it is a second chance. You flick backwards and forwards in time between the past timeline and the current timeline. She's basically bought this ranch of this place that she used to visit as a kid when her dad had cancer. And basically it's going along the story. You see the past of her falling in love with Wes and the current of her falling back in love with him and him falling back in love with her. It's really, really cute. It had me literally on an emotional roller coaster down the M1. I was going like this. I was crying, I was laughing, I was giggling. I was like, oh my God, like it had everything in it. Devney is definitely one of my favourite authors. And this book just shows it. It just says everything in it. So I'm really excited and I really enjoyed this. I'm currently reading another Devney book, but that will come at a different point in time. So the next book that we finished, I was actually reading this before Crossroads, but I finished Crossroads first, and that is Leather and Lark by Brynne Weaver. This took me quite a while to read. I actually started this in June, but I didn't finish it until like 7th, 8th of July. This was a 3.5 star. I did not enjoy this. Between two serial killers, they fall in love. It's Lark and I can't remember his name. I'm just going to call him L. But there's like this murder going on and they're trying to solve it whilst also being serial killers, but she doesn't call herself a serial killer. I have a whole reading vlog on it. It's a new releases. I'll put it in the cards for you because the first 2 books that I read this month are definitely in that. But my God, I hated this book. I gave it 3.5 stars because it was a little bit like, oh, I don't mind, but versus Butcher and Blackbird, this was atrocious and I definitely did not like it. I'm excited for the third one. The third one's coming out in Feb, so a little like birthday treat to me. But if it's anything like this one, it's not gonna be good. But I already know who the couple are because I think they're gonna be friends to lovers, whilst this one is marriage of convenience kind of situation. I was excited to read this. I wanted Lark's backstory. Did we get Lark's backstory? No, and I was very disappointed in that. I really like, that's why I wanted to read this book. That's why I was so excited, because I was like, finally we're gonna get Lark's backstory that was mentioned in the first book. Did we? No, we didn't get anything, and that infuriated me. Like really infuriated me. I was like, what am I reading this book for if I'm not gonna get the backstory of why things have happened to both these girls in the first 2 books? The character development for Lark was nil. It was like first book was epic, this book was like in the sink, you know. The next book that we read was Chasing Home by Cowan. This was an arc that I got. It's actually already out for you guys. I enjoyed this. This was a 4 star. This is the 3rd one in the Cherry Hill series. I enjoyed it. It was a good read. It wasn't my all-time favorite, but I did really enjoy it. I think the first one was like beautiful chef's kiss, and then kind of since then they've all been 4 stars. But I have enjoyed them and they're a really good small town if you're wanting that found family small town vibe, but they're just not beautiful chef's kiss, you know what I mean? Like it's just one of those situations, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and that is what it is. The next book that I read is Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World. I got this from the library. The moment I finished Just for the Summer, I had to grab the next Abby Jimenez book, but I decided to get it from the library because they were there and I thought might as well get it from there. Support the local libraries. This is your sign that if you've got a library card, to go in and see what your library has, because you never know, they could have something really, really good. So yes, I got Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I enjoyed this. This was a 3.5 stars. It wasn't just for the summer vibe, but I did enjoy it. I'm excited to read her other books. They're really good. They're really gripping. I can just literally sit and flick through them. They're not like spectacular, but this is another small town romance, just like half the books that I've been reading. This is between, so we meet him in Just for the Summer. So it's an it's an ex-wife, she's divorced now, who comes out to this small town by accident, meets this guy, has a one-night stand, can't stop thinking about each other, and that kind of situation, and they become, as the name suggests, part of each other's world. So yeah, I did really enjoy it. If you like Abby Jimenez, if you like Emily Henry, this is the kind of book to read. I did quite enjoy it. I don't like Emily Henry, but I like Abby Jimenez, and people say if you like Abby Jimenez you'll like Emily Henry, but you know, if you don't like Emily Henry, try Abby Jimenez. I prefer her writing tons. The next book that I read, well, I more audiobooked it, as well as I did finish it reading it, and that is The Devil Wears Black by L.J.Shen. I had another long road trip down to the same area, Silverstone, in this month, so I decided I'm gonna listen to this on audiobook on the way down. Didn't finish it, but then I decided to finish it on my Kindle, because if you have Kindle Unlimited and Audible, you have them in tangent with each other, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I got The Devil Wears Black by L.J.Shen. It was a 3-star. It was a good, nothing spectacular, but it was good. You know, like when a book and an audiobook's good, but then reading it's not so good. That's this vibe. Like, the audiobook was great, book itself, nada. But I was reading this for a video that I'm doing where I'm reading books that have been on my shelf for a long time. This is one of them. I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait to get rid of it off my shelf. It's been on here for nearly 2.5 years. It needs to get gone, you know what I mean? It's one of those situations. Then I read, if I can get it, Play Along by Tomforde. When I finished The Devil Wears Black, this has just really come out on Kindle, so I was like, I'm going to read it. So I read it, and then I had bad flare-up day, so I read this in one sitting basically. Oh my god, 5-star read. If you want another found family vibe like Chestnut Springs or something along them lines, read this series by Tomforde. It's the Windy City series. This is the 4th book, and we're getting the 5th book in 2025. I absolutely love this sports romance series. It's a sports romance series which has different sports throughout it. The last 2 have both been baseball, but it makes sense when you read it. And the final one, I believe, is hockey, and it's Rio's, and I'm so excited for Rio's book. But this book, oh my god. If you want a full review, there's a review on my TikTok. I've got reviews on my TikTok, I've got reviews on my Instagram, and I've also got reviews on my YouTube when I did my new releases. I added this in because I was like, I need to add this in. Like, this book I've been hyped for. I've been waiting for this book to come in. It is absolutely stunning, and the fact that I have it in my hands, is everything. Like, Kennedy and I don't know how to describe it other than I love this book. Like, this book, it's just so scrumptious. It's a beautiful book, and I would highly recommend. Just the Windy City series altogether, like, I will always recommend. If there is series of books that I always recommend, it's the Windy City series, it's Indigo Ridge series, aka the Eden series, and the Chestnut Spring series. They're the series I always constantly recommend, and this is like top of the top. Nearly every single book has been a 5-star read. Like, it's a 5-star series, so just get on the hype. You may think, oh, that's a bit overly hyped on the book talk. It's for a reason. Do not even come for the people, because beautiful. Then in the same video where I read new releases, as you could tell, I was in a very like new release mood this month. Well, in July, I read Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I picked this up for a £5. I was like, oh, I'll give it a go. No, this is a 1-star. I literally got, I think, to about here, had this much left. I was like, I can't read this. I read over halfway. I've got like a tiny bit left. I think I had like 80 pages left, and I was like, I can't read it, so I'm just gonna put it down as I read it and give it a 1-star. Otherwise, I would have seen it. I don't see the hype. I don't see why people like this book. I loved Bride, so because I love Bride, I was like, oh, I'll pick this up, I'll give it a go, see what people think. But absolutely freaking not. This is awful. It's atrocious. I hated it. I was like, why am I forcing myself to read this? I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I forcing myself to read a book that I don't even enjoy? No, not for me at all. I would avoid like the freaking plague. Like, just don't even think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do it. No, don't do it. And then the book that I was reading when the month finished, and that I'm still currently reading, and I have it on audiobook with like 2 hours left, and I still haven't touched it. So it's The Longest Ride by Nicholas Sparks. I decided for a video I'm going to read a Nicholas Sparks book. You'll see that video at some point whenever I finish this book. But this book is not for me. Not in the slightest. No. Absolutely not. I'm not enjoying it. I've had this book since July, like end of July, and it's currently 9th of August. I have not even thought about this book in over a week and a half. So it might go down as a soft DNF. But I'm listening to audiobook of it, and I've got like 2 hours left, so I'm just gonna finish it. I'm just gonna like set down time and just finish it, probably when I'm tired in my room at some point. But this book is not it, chief. It is not it. I don't get it. We're having 2 timelines of an old man who's dying and a young couple who are just starting out, and I don't get why we've got it, but we did, so I'm confused. Anywho, that's just the way it is. But these are all the books that I read in July. Now on to the TBR. I'm just gonna grab 2 of them. My TBR is very small because for me as a mood reader to have a TBR, it means a lot. So we've just picked 3 books. So the first book is The Steel King by Devney Perry. I wanted a Devney Perry book. I was like, just for comfort, if I get into a slump, let's just have a Devney Perry book on here. And I have a Devney Perry book, and I'm currently reading it. I'm enjoying it. I think I'm just not bothered about reading at the moment, and I really need to get out of this mindset. But I have a feeling I'm gonna really enjoy this. Once it gets like into the nitty gritty, it's gonna be good. But so far it's a bit like, yeah. It's like a small town, slightly dark. There's a gang, but the gang's disbanded. This journalist wants to find out, and he's just like, oh my god, he's just like instantly connected to her and has like kissed her and like stuff, and you're just like, I need to know more information. But it's okay, I quite enjoy it. I saw it on her Instagram and I was like, oh, I'll pick that up. I'll add it to my August TBR. The next one is His Greatest Muse by Hannah Cowan. Again, one of my favourite authors this year. I just literally wanted comfort this month. I just needed comfort, so I decided His Greatest Muse was the best one. As you can tell, it's the final one in the series that I've not read. It's a bit of a chunker, but I know if I'm in the mood, I can get through this book pretty quick. It's the final one, like I said, so I just wanted to read the final one, so I have finished it, ready for if any other series come out. I should have finished this book before I read Cherry Tree series, because it apparently made more sense, but I haven't, so you know, it is what it is. But I'm really excited to finally read this. It's got Noah in it, which has got music in it. It's got a boxer in it, from what I know. So I'm really excited to finally get around and finish this. If I don't finish these books, it's whatever. I'm a mood reader. I read what I want to read at the time. So we'll just see. And then the final book I chose is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I just really wanted this book. It's on my 24 books to read in 2024. I wanted to tick it off. I also really wanted to just have something that could be fun. I like a sports romance on my shelf, and I saw this and was like, I know it's a slow burn and I know it's thick, but everyone says it's amazing, so I thought this is a great one to pick up. I can read it, I can see what it's all about, and the writing is pretty decent. This sounds stupid, but I picked up floppy books because if I read floppy books, I'm more inclined, because it's easy to read a floppy book or on my Kindle. So I picked up really floppy books. That sounds ridiculous, but my brain is like, a floppy book's easy to read and I read it quicker if it's floppy rather than if it's not. Big brain logic coming from me. So these are the books that are on my August TBR. We'll find out in the August wrap up if I actually read them or not. That's a different matter altogether, but we're keeping everything crossed. I mean, this weekend is my final busy weekend before I can just like chill and relax. So I'm hoping the next couple of weekends I can chill and relax. I say this whilst also having several 12-hour shifts coming up with work, but fingers crossed 4 hours of reading we can get in whilst we're at work. So we can keep everything crossed. But yeah, these are my August TBR, and this has been my July wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below one of your 5-star reads this month, if you've had any, or the highest book you've read, even a book you would recommend me to read. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. We're posting on a Sunday, 4 PM British summertime, so I hope to see you guys there, and I'll see you guys in my next video.